Hey guys, if you're not able to watch my long form content of podcast, here are some short form clips for you to enjoy.
Can you enlighten me on some of the modern day yogi rituals that a lot of us should aspire to or start doing to have this sort of not nirvana but that serene moment that you achieved?
Firstly, you'd be surprised to know that I'm diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. And
Oh,
I've taken medications for a brief period of my life.
I wouldn't have noticed that in today's podcast at all. You're very calm.
So, and perhaps I lived with it. I don't know, but I was a sports person. So I think a lot of that got worked out. When we say yoga, the literal meaning of the word yoga is union, right? It is not an exercise form as it is made out to be, it's an experiential reality. So, when we say union, there is always an element of involvement. There is a misunderstanding among many कि आप सुबह उठ के if you're doing 1 hour of yoga and going about with your day, you've done your daily quota of yoga, but that's not the case. Yoga has to be a moment to moment reality. Every moment I should be in yoga. Because if yoga literally means union, I cannot read about union. I can't do union. I can only experience union. And union has to be a moment to moment reality. So, in this moment, I'm having a conversation with you. Am I in yoga? Am I completely involved with you without any discrimination, without any judgments? That is yoga. I'm drinking this glass of water. Am I 100% involved with this process? That's yoga. Doing the asanas, twisting and turning your body is just catalyzing the process, but it doesn't stop there. So that's the biggest misconception that people have कि मैंने तो अपना सुबह का कोटा कर दिया. Yoga has to be a 24/7 process. So that's the first thing. Having said that, there are various prescriptions which facilitate this state of involvement. The first thing being waking up at Brahma Muhurat. What is Brahma Muhurat? Brahma Muhurat would be considered the last quarter of the night, which is anywhere between 3:30 a.m. to 5:30 or 6 a.m. Scientifically, we say that the pineal gland is working at its best. The secretion of the pineal gland, the melatonin, all of them are working at its maximum, which means that being in a pleasant mood within yourself is not a problem. Also, I believe that the nature is aligned, the planets are aligned in such a manner that it creates a conducive state for you to sort of grasp anything or for you to be in a certain balanced state. So typically, we would utilize this time period. In fact, there is another study which shows that the quality of your urine is very different at this particular time in comparison to any other time during the day. So the idea is to wake up and do a practice that you have been initiated into. Now, when we say initiation, it's about learning a yoga practice which affects your pranic system, which affects
And
your
what is
energy
and what
system.
is pranic system?
So there are multiple bodies within a human system. So there is a physical body, which is the Annamaya Kosha or the food body. There is the Manomaya Kosha or the mind body. There is a Pranamaya Kosha, which is the energy body. And there is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, I don't know the English equivalent of that. Knowledge body, not quite. Vijnanamaya Kosha. And Anandamaya Kosha, which is the bliss body. So what yoga is doing is that it goes to the Pranamaya Kosha, which is the energy body, and the help of a guru comes where you have to be pushed from the Pranamaya Kosha to the other dimensions further up. Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. That a guru can do for you, which is why having a guru in your life becomes important. But any teacher who's been trained, who has some good intention for you, can take you to Pranamaya Kosha. Once the Pranamaya Kosha or the energy body is activated, you will see that its benefits permeate down to the mental body. So your mind is great and the physical body, which is why if you see a lot of yogis, especially the ones who are living in the Himalayas or somewhere, let's say in the forest, they don't know what they're eating, they don't know what they're drinking. There are minor poisons coming into their food and water all the time, but you'll see that they're in great physical health. Their sleep quota is very less. In fact, they don't even sleep. There is a culture among so many yogis where they don't sleep at all, because we say that sleep is a form of inertia and you want to reduce that to the best possible extent. Now, they're not falling sick. And the reason is that the pranamaya kosha, or the energy body, is fully activated and is in full flow. So this is what the pranamaya kosha is. So when you wake up in the morning and do your spiritual work, or your sadhana, as we say, your yoga practice, it activates your pranamaya kosha, which means that your mind will be great and your body will be perfect. Before that, we say you must take a shower in the morning, and a cold water shower preferably.
I was going to ask you about that, because a lot of people do take a warm water bath in the morning. And so how did the different bodies join together with a cold shower?
So when we say cold shower, we're not looking at a temperature which is very, very cold. This would be anywhere, say 5 to 8 degrees centigrade below the room temperature. And this is simply because, scientifically speaking, we say that there are pores between the cells, and when you take a cold water shower, that opens up and energy begins to permeate. It enters and it recharges the cellular structure. So as a result of which, you're much more energized. You can do your sadhana without, feeling drowsy. And if it's, let's say, you're living in cold climatic conditions, then we say lukewarm water, but never hot water, because the hot water opens up the cells and it creates inertia and drowsiness. Now, for a regular individual who's not into yoga or sadhana, it may not matter. But for a yogi who is staying up for a long time, who's doing about 4 hours of sadhana, it can become problematic. Additionally, I think there is a lot of literature now by Andrew Huberman, for example, who has extensively researched on the importance of
the dopamine release.
Correct. So the cold shower becomes very important for the life of a yogi. And we always say that you start from here and then allow the water to trickle down. After that, the most important thing is emptying your bowels first thing when you wake up. So
all of this cold shower and emptying your bowels and urination should be done before you start your practice.
Always. When you wake up first thing in the morning. So in traditional sciences, be it yoga, Ayurveda, we say that the headquarter of most diseases is the colon. 90% of the diseases that we know, chronic or otherwise, is in the colon. क्या आपका पेट साफ हो रहा है? Not just पेट साफ हो रहा है, are you able to completely evacuate your bowels? So we say it should be as clean as a water pipe. In fact, there's a culture among the yogis, a certain sect of yogis, where they use the anal cavity as a suction pipe. They suck the water in, they'll sit in a pool of water, suck it in, and then purge it through their mouth, and it's squeaky clean.
Wow.
So colon health is very, very important. Gut health becomes very important. And doing your practices on an empty stomach becomes important because there is a certain ascendance of energy. When you're doing your sadhana, you will feel that as you become more sensitive and aware that the energy starts moving upwards. So आपके पेट में कुछ खाना है या फिर there is feces, it's going to get blocked.
So this is why, as a sports nutritionist, I've always never been able to understand why yogics don't sip any sports drink or protein powder or anything before their yoga practice, even though it's very intensive. It's because that chakras or those energies come in from the essence of your core. Am I right in that?
They could come from the lower dimensions. We don't know what that dimensions is. That would be dependent on your state of evolution. My energy could start from here, yours could start from here. We don't know. But the idea is that there is a certain upward movement. And we don't want to restrict
and putting
that.
food in at that time kind of hinders you from discovering it or tapping into your best energy source.
And allowing it to move upward, essentially.
Hey guys, if you've enjoyed this clip, then click here and watch the full episode. And don't forget to subscribe because your body is the most expensive real estate and I'm your real estate agent.